Yay.
Here we go.
There we are.
Hello, everybody. Hello. We're going to have the Dr. Phil show in a little bit.
Hey, folks. How are you doing? It's good to be back. Back in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back in the saddle again.
I'm back.
Back.
We're just waiting a few minutes till the Dr. Phil show. We're streaming live from NBC.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to interact. During the commercials, we'll talk. We'll try to play the show and do some effective switching. I have to keep on looking at the screen. Make
The
sure we don't miss
long-awaited moment where we get to see this poop show. It's going to be
a blank show.
And it's got to be interesting because, you know, when I first heard about this coming out, I thought, wow, that is insane. Totally insane.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, what was happening on social media was bad enough. But the idea that they would take this to a reality show, basically,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, look, Dr. Phil is a psychiatrist, but I think that I think the case is certainly a good one to be made, that publicly shaming people may be the only wake-up call that they understand, that there is such a loud and clear message from America as a whole, or, you know, the millions of people that watch the show saying, you suck, or, you know, you're knock it off, or whatever, that might be the thing in some people. Because I don't know if you've realized this, but the Dr. Phil show is like very extreme cases of messed up people.
Yeah.
like very, very extreme cases, like, you know, and really difficult topics also, you know, like very difficult things, like, you know, people that want to have children and people that don't, or, you know, like very, very difficult family issues are presented there. But this is going to be about bullying.
Yeah.
And cyberbullying in particular. And, you know, like how far things can get. And this is a prime example of how far things can get. And, which is not to say that, you know, cyberbullying is, a very serious issue. And so I'm not trying to minimize it. And I'm not trying to in any way say that, Paloma Zuniga Delint, a.k.a. Paloma for Trump, which we have seen more recently become viral in social media for pushing a migrant child and making him pee his pants and bragging about it on television. That she is not a social pariah. Don't get me wrong. She totally is. But the method to the madness of the way that Amy and Melinda approached trying to expose what she was doing, and the way in which they responded to what she was doing, and the way in which they have responded and reacted to anyone other than them, talking about their experiences with Paloma has I think had a very detrimental effect to how people listen to them, interact with them, and also feel any kind of trust in talking with them about what's happened with their experience being bullied by Paloma. Paloma is definitely a bully. Definitely a bully. But, and I have said this from the beginning, not just with regard to Melinda and Amy, almost every person I have talked to that has been attacked by Paloma or has been somehow been a victim of hers, a victim of extortion, a victim of fraud, a victim of harassment, a victim of stalking, a victim of many, many things we have reported here. Her lies, all that, threats. If you've experienced that, dismissal, censorship, if you've experienced any of that from her, then you know that she is atrocious. But how the people around her, whether they're fans, her followers, her diehard loyalists, have also participated at one point in dismissing, in censoring, in responding harshly or aggressively towards others of her victims, has made all of the people that have been affected by Paloma very reticent to be open, to be trusting, to forgive others, and to look at them as victims. And I have seen very few people resist and have such an aggressive, negative response to other people that have been victimized by Paloma the way that Amy and Melinda have. And maybe that's just because that's where they are emotionally, where they can't trust other people, and they don't feel like they just see, they can't see outside of themselves. They can't see. But to me, I think it's very common. It's very, very common among people that have been victimized by this person that they are so, gun shy. They're shy about being open about what happened to them. They don't want to talk about it. It's embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
And one thing, the silver lining that I could see out of all of this, when I was told about this originally about the show, I believe by Amy or Melinda themselves, they told me that this was coming up. And I like I said, my first reaction was like, ew, like cringe, like, eesh. Is that the best way of handling this whole thing? Because, come on, let's face it. If you do a show like this, they want a resolution. They want a hug. It's not guaranteed, obviously, but that's what Dr. Phil does. He fixes things. He takes people to therapy, offers people help, right? So ultimately, if you want to, you could walk away from this show not looking like a douchebag. Mm-hmm. You could, theoretically. But knowing these three women and their interactions online, you could tell none of them were ever going to back down. I mean, you could, right? Like, you could tell. I know I could. Honestly, I knew that no matter what you told them about even their own self-preservation, their own mental sanity, and their ability to effectively fight against this attack on them, they're kind of like the people that couldn't get out of their own way. Mm-hmm. And they're just so reactionary. They have very, very little self-control. So reactionary that you knew that all three of them were just going to keep going at it, keep going at it, keep going at it. Even if it meant that they were jeopardizing the contracts that they signed for this show to even air. I'm surprised it's airing at this point.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because I believe they've probably both parties, all three parties, have violated their agreement for this show to be aired. Mm-hmm. And who knows in how many ways this show has already been threatened by Paloma and maybe even by other people so that it wouldn't air. I don't know. But my guess is that there's already been a lot of violations. By the way, I did not want to be party to that. I mean, I was like, I know that they've signed contracts because they've told me that. Melinda and Amy. I have never talked to Paloma, thank God.
Yeah.
But I know that they all signed contracts. And Paloma said as much in her messages to Melinda and Amy. So everybody signed contracts. It wasn't something that they were going to be able to get out of. And they knew that. And so the one silver lining I could see out of all of this was that Dr. Phil does have millions and millions of viewers. So this show has aired nationally and will also air, because I've seen these shows dubbed in, they have them in Mexico, they have them on the border. Reality shows are big in Mexico. It's kind of like a telenovela, right?
Yeah.
So you can see how this would play. So this will probably play there. And let me just say that, people are going to know the name. And they're going to know Paloma for Trump. And that is a name that she, for better or for worse, wanted to make famous. Maybe not infamous, although now it will be. It will definitely be infamous. In a recent interview, I saw her saying that this Dr. Phil show and Oprah Winfrey want to destroy her, and that people, they want to portray her in this negative light, but in the end, she makes the president and her are the same, and she makes America look great. No, you don't. You want to blame the fact that you looked like an abusive criminal assaulter of a migrant child, but that wasn't camera trickery. That was you. That was roly-poly you pushing a migrant child, making them pee their pants and bragging about it. That was you. Nobody did that for you. That wasn't a walk-on part for an extra for you. That was you. Pendeja for fraud, flaunting it, all for the world to see. And what you did was that you let people know that you are willing to assault children. You didn't even touch any of the adults. That's how much of a coward this woman is. She's the kind of person that takes advantage of animals and children. So we know what she is willing to do. And we know that she's deceitful and that she can lie. And we know that she knows how to push buttons. And we know that she knows how to take advantage of vulnerable people, people that are in bad places emotionally, physically, even mentally. I know that that is the case for Melinda and Amy both. I know that her dad had recently passed, Amy's dad, and that Melinda was going through her own personal things. And I know that Paloma knows how to exploit that. But come on, honestly, these women have not done themselves a lot of favors in the way that they have responded to others. In the way that they have slapped away hands that wanted to help them and attacked those who wanted to expose their abuser. Honestly, these are the kind of people that will cut off their nose to spite their own face. And it's sad because I think that they could have done a much better job if they were willing to accept their limitations. If they were willing to accept they can't do things alone. If they were willing to accept that there is strength in unity and solidarity. Maybe that's a lesson they'll learn.
Yeah.
Who knows? Here's what I can tell you, though. Her name, after today's show, will be everywhere. People are going to Google Paloma 4 Trump. Everybody's going to be Googling Paloma, F-O-R, Trump, Paloma 4 Trump, Paloma Zuniga. They're going to be looking up her name, her face, her history, and bada bing, bada boom, guess what they're going to find? All of the investigative reporting, all of the information on our websites about her, our reports, our videos, our investigations, and the people, the millions of people that watch this and go, is there more to this story? Where can I find out more about this Paloma Zuniga? They're going to be able to find it because it's already there. You see, I was thinking in a forward fashion and thinking, okay, this is still a huge advertisement for Panzona for Fraud.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be out there. Her name is going to be out there. I mean, Dr. Phil basically just did like a 1-hour commercial for these people.
Yeah.
And if they have social media presence and if they have information about them out there, people are going to be driven to those pages, aka my pages.
Mm-hmm.
So people will be able to find all of the information. Heidi says, Paloma, for Trump is gone.
What?
Are you sure?
What, the .com or what?
I don't know. Thank you, Brad. Nothing but love
yes,
for
Brad.
the Queen of Media. Thank you, Brad. We are trying to work it. We're trying to work it because we know that tonight's show on Dr. Phil is going to bring a lot of questions. If there's one thing that I can tell you before I even watch the show and react with you and discuss with you, all of you who are watching, thank you for watching,
Mm-hmm.
is that we can learn together. Let's have a real discussion about this, shall we?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's be honest. No holes barred, sin pelos en la lengua. Okay? No hairs on my tongue. I'm just going to spit it. And we're going to talk about what's really going on in this cadre that we're about to watch. Paloma has a political career in her brain. There's a lot of things going on in her imagination. No, she does not have she's never had any kind of career at all, except for maybe a call girl. But other than that, no. Honestly, no. What successful business does she have? She claims to be a business owner, but what successful business does she have? That's her way of saying, I've never worked for anyone that I can claim on a tax return. I've never made any income that I could legally tax and claim. So I'm going to call myself a successful business owner so that no one can track that I don't have a job, a real job, a legal job. So how do you make all your income? How do you survive? How do you travel? How do you do all the things that you claim that you can do? Karen Taylor, to be perfectly honest, this has gone on too long. If everyone, Paloma, Amy, and Linda, and yes, even you guys, you keep the fire burning. Everyone has their opinion already. Well, Karen, I am not one of these guys. I am a reporter. I run a radio station, and if you've been watching how I do my shows, when I expose a party, I can sometimes take a year or longer to reveal a case. I'm a paralegal by trade and training, and so I present the information that I gather as evidence, as interviews, screen captures, photos, what have you. I present this case so that people will have no doubt of the information that I am presenting and what that means about the person I'm talking about, and how that informs their interactions going forward. What kinds of crimes those persons have committed, are capable of committing, and who they're connected to. You cannot compare my reporting and the exposure of a story that is in the media and has been in the international media in Mexico as keeping a fire burning. This is called reporting. This is a radio station. You can't compare what we do to live streams from Pendeja for Fraud or Amy or Melinda. And if you're trying to make that comparison, then we're not speaking the same language. That's a joke. Dr. Phil, you need to have her back and ask her to bring the videos where she and her husband committed fraud. Patty, there's a lot of things Dr. Phil doesn't know. But, I do believe that Dr. Phil and his producers, are probably more likely, the people that work on the Dr. Phil show, have been made well aware of the fact that Paloma for Fraud has become viral on social media for pushing a migrant. The issue that started this conversation was how divided people are about the border issue, the border wall, immigration as a topic in general. And in this case, it pits two white passing women against a Mexican American named Paloma for Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of whom are supposed to be Trump supporters, all of whom seem to be very antagonistic. It's kind of the epitome of, look, they can't even get along within their own party type of a discussion. That's what's going on here. So, is the show getting ready to start?
It's not going to start on that channel. They bumped it. So we've got an alternative here. I'll be setting up these, which is most of the show. They're just set up in clips. Give me a few minutes. I'll get that set up.
So they bumped it? What does that mean?
Just news is on for the next
What?
3 hours. But I'll get this set up.
Okay.
Just give me a few minutes. And I'll set up 5 clips. That is about 30 minutes of the show.
Thank you, Anne. So, obviously the audience will make it clear enough is enough. In the meantime, the market for fraudsters is a hot topic. Yes. Sophia says, Cindy's purpose was never about cyberbullying or defending anyone or was paid to do this. She was exposing people involved in mass migration, but many people do not understand that. Thank you, Sophia. I have been focusing on that. In particular, I have been focusing on the activism and the interests behind those activists, including the political parties, behind those activists that are pushing this mass migration. Because that is something that people have not really put a focus on. They've been made to believe in the media that this is all organic and natural and that it's just happening because people are fleeing their countries of origin for a variety of reasons. And there are all sorts of people in any kind of human crisis that are going to be there like vultures, ready to take advantage of the situation. It's like a feeding frenzy. Some people, and I believe this to be true of a lot of live streamers that have gone down to the border to capture what's going on. They're like citizen journalist types like Amy, like Melinda, like many of the people that you have seen that became popular to follow on social media from different political parties, etc. Very similar to what happened at Standing Rock. And yes, okay, with the advent of live streams, this happens, this becomes popular, and when this happens, you see people that aren't part of the propaganda, aren't part of these border support networks. They don't already come with a built-in following, and a lot of these people do. At Standing Rock, I noticed there was, for example, this guy named Kevin Gilbert who came from the UK. Out of nowhere, he was traveling around with these activists who are now a part of the Border Support Network, and he had hundreds of people following his live streams. And this is when live streaming had just begun. People had just started live streaming things, and he had hundreds of people watching a live stream at a time. It's unheard of. Out of all of the people that were at Standing Rock live streaming, had not only the capability to live stream, but the internet access out in the middle of nowhere, where our phones didn't even work. And these people could live stream perfect live streams. And I was just like, that is just really, really weird how they managed to do that. So there are people that came with followers, accounts that were propped up. You know, I don't know if you know this, but there are companies that can, get your persona out there by purchasing followers for you. And a lot of people use that. They have like PR people behind them that will boost their persona onto a situation like they did for Ed Higgins, like I'm sure they've done for Paloma Zúñiga, by purchasing followers for them so that it props them up and makes them look like they have organically gained all of these followers because they're so special. And when you look at them a little bit, more closely, you're like, there's really nothing special about you. Other than that, you have this, looks like, really fluffed up image that's kind of unexplainable. And that's exactly what we have with the case of Paloma Zúñiga. So, what we're about to see is what happens when a group of people desperate for attention, desperate to get attention, decide to hash all of this out on national television. Unfortunately, they bumped the live broadcast.
Yeah, but we got
in our area. But we have
5 clips that are equal about 25 minutes, and we're going to go through those. They're from the Dr. Phil show clips.
Hold on. Let's read some of the comments real quick.
All right.
Duke, Cindy. Oh, Dr. Phil. I don't know if that's really Dr. Phil says. Cindy Nemo, go to MSXUAN on YouTube. The show is on there live now. Ooh, go try that.
Read it to me.
MSXUAN on YouTube.
Oh,
that's the channel on YouTube, yes.
Okay.
And it says that it is live there now. That's very interesting. YouTube.
Let's check it out.
MSXUAN channel. There it is. And it's right now. Yep. Oh, cool. I can watch it right now.
Searching for music for your next video?
All right, let's see. Skip the ad. And try to turn it up. Has no sound.
I have to.
No. Okay. Angelo Sison has finally been called out. Yes, Truth Seeker. I saw that. I'm screen capturing, saving, and getting ready for that because, and also, by the way, Truth Seeker, if you have seen any other screens from other people discussing that issue, especially ex-girlfriends, etc., please get it to me. All right, go. Do we have sound now on that?
No, we don't have it on the screen. I can't get it up. There we go. One moment.
Do we have sound on that video, though? Because there's no sound, I can't hear anything.
I can't get either.
Can we hit play on that?
Hours a day. They investigate where I live. They have my license plate number.
In a period of about 4 months, they put out about 300 negative posts about me.
They make cartoons of me.
They will put horns on me. Melinda told the court that I threatened to cut her head off and that my family was a part of the cartel. It's just absolute fiction. They have showed up at events to serve me with restraining orders.
Dr. Phil can make them realize that they're the ones that are bullying me. I'm not bullying them. I only respond to what they have done to me.
Okay, Paloma, you've been listening to everything we've been talking about, right?
I have.
And they have made allegations against you and things that you've done to attack them. Is there anything you want to say about any of that?
You will never see me attacking someone. I will never attack someone first. I've been attacked by these two women since November 2018.
We just saw a video of her attacking a child.
It's been it's been so overwhelming that oh my God. I mean, they've taken me to court. We've been to a courthouse at least 5 times. Okay, We've literally gotten thrown out of the courthouse where the judge is like, get out of my courtroom.
When did
I mean,
that
making one of the times your orders were
Pathological
dismissed.
liar is what you are.
Well, the orders were dismissed. So
They were dismissed because I couldn't prove you told me in person that you threatened my life. That's why it was dismissed.
Melinda, I never.
I didn't get it on
threatened
film.
your
I'm
life.
sorry. I wasn't thinking you were going to
And nobody
threaten my
threw
life
us
on
out of a
film.
court.
Nobody
I have no criminal background, Melinda.
Oh,
I've
not in
never.
the United States, but you do in Mexico.
No, I don't.
Oh my God.
No,
You
I
have over
don't.
Tell the
12
truth once in your
judgments.
life.
Okay,
tell
what?
the
Okay,
truth.
so tell me
the
what
truth.
Melinda, tell me what I've done in Mexico.
You tell us.
No, well, you're the one that's saying that I have a
You
criminal
don't have
background.
a,
I do
one
not
video
have.
you say I've never been in jail. Next video, oh, I've been in jail in Mexico. One video, I've never been in jail. Well, I've been in jail in Mexico.
No, so-
but it wasn't my fault. I went to jail. It was the cops' fault.
No, no, Melinda, I've never been arrested in Mexico. Sometimes when people do political activism in Mexico, they
Put you in jail.
No, without your name. So without your name, that's not being arrested. That's not committing a crime, Melinda. And this is what you.
You don't remember the video
Excuse me,
that you made?
I'm in the middle of. I'm addressing Melinda.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
addressing
go ahead,
Melinda.
sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So for the last 8 months, Melinda, you and Amy and your family.
Amy's Amy, I'm me.
Okay,
so don't
so
put
for
us
the
as,
last-
as
We're
one.
not one person.
We're not one
For
person.
the
We're two
last
different
8
people.
months, Melinda,
Separate. For the last 8 months, you have
been-
harassed me,
Okay, so
my
you're not
friends,
gonna let me
my
speak, so
family,
what?
and children.
So if you're not-
my 8-year-old granddaughter.
you're not gonna
You
let me
posted
speak,
pictures
why
of
are
her
we here?
online, making fun of the way a child looks.
on my account.
Yes,
and an
no,
autistic
yes,
child
and I have
at
proof
that.
that it's your
No.
account.
No, that's
proof.
why judges do
Don't
not
even.
believe you. That's why judges
Judges
do not
do
believe
believe
you.
me.
So why
But-
didn't
but
you get the
because
orders
that's not
granted?
that's not a physical threat. That's why.
Okay.
Oh, I see.
Time out.
I see.
Let me ask you a question here. Let me ask you a question here. They have made specific allegations.
Very specific. Yeah.
They have said that you have posted a meme on your page depicting them both as pigs. True or false?
False. I don't make those
Wow.
memes.
Oh,
in the beginning, Dr. Phil, when I started
She doesn't make
getting-
anything.
I live in Tijuana, and they started calling me an illegal.
Hold on. You told our producers that this was true, that you admitted creating the social media page where this image was posted.
No, I admitted that I posted on my social media
Pathological
page
liar.
an album of about 7 memes, but all the social media that they claim that they have thousands and thousands and thousands of evidence about, those social media sites are not mine.
Was this right here, was this on your
That,
site?
I honestly don't remember, but people call
That was
them
done by
Jamie
Jean
from
Paraon.
Linda. I did not come up with the term F1 and F2.
That was
I
Jean.
didn't ask you about who came up with what. I asked you if this was posted on your site, on your Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, so how is that not ridiculing and humiliating
So
them?
that album was posted in March.
Someone
The album
posted it.
wasn't posted. Albums don't post themselves. You had
Well,
to
they're
post
created.
it on your account.
They're created by someone.
Yeah.
It was my dog.
You had to affirmatively
My
take
dog made
this
that
image
channel.
and put it on your account and post it.
On my album, yes. And that was the only thing I've ever posted about them.
Well, maybe
That's why
maybe
I'm
not.
admitting to it, because I
Okay.
have no problem with
Well,
it.
you didn't admit to it. You first denied it.
You're
don't
a
make
liar.
I'm not saying you're a cartoonist. I'm just asking you if you posted it.
Ay,
They
qué
accuse me of
ridícula.
making them.
Oh, she's pissed. Did you see how she
Posted
looked at
that
Dr.
she
Phil?
stabbed her ex-husband to death.
Why were you in prison?
Did you tell your friends to troll the page?
No.
Exagerada, ridícula. She is just as ridiculous. Just as ridiculous. She tries to look so
Stabbed her
sophisticated. but she's
ex-husband
not.
to death.
No,
Look at this.
they've got. See, people come up with names for them. F1, F2. They don't know who's
People.
who.
You are
It's a question.
You're the people.
Why did Melinda go to jail? Why were you in prison?
Okay, hold on.
It's a
hold on.
question?
No. You're,
No.
Whoa.
No, I mean,
You're trying to deflect, but you're not very good at it.
No.
I'm asking you, did you post on your site
I posted a question.
about her stabbing her husband to death?
I posted a question. Yes.
Okay. So you did post that.
I posted a question. Yes, it's my social media.
And the video came afterwards.
It's my social
And
media.
according to Melinda, Paloma's friend posted a message in the comment section of Melinda's crowdfunding site for the homeless telling people not to donate. The second image is a screenshot of the crowdfunding site with an inmate emoji posted on Paloma's social media page. Do you have anything to do with that?
With the post, no. With the emoji,
Yeah.
yes. I posted that.
Did you tell your friends to troll the page?
No.
Liar.
It's personal. Page has moderators.
Boy, you're just not very good at this, are you?
No, I'm not.
Because it seems to me that you don't recognize when someone is getting to the point, you assist her in deflecting from the point.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but it's like I want to, like I've been waiting for 10 months to be able to say things to her that I haven't been able to.
Okay, well, if you want to vent instead of get clarity, go ahead. Have at it.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. She can't get out of her own way.
I'm asking questions definitively to
Yes,
get to
I
the bottom,
apologize.
to get an admission of what she's done or not, and you instead want to bicker. So
Yeah.
do it while we're on break.
Yes.
We'll be back.
Thank you, Dr. Phil. Oh my God. Are you able to pause these?
You will sit here and explain.
Are you
I
able to
threatened
pause
to
it?
cut your head off
Maybe, yes,
and put
yes.
it on a
Can you do
pole
that?
No, it's
cartel
live. I can't
style.
pause it.
You're
It's pot? Oh, that's right.
Big fan
You
of
can't.
Game of Thrones.
This is the thing. Okay, I forgot. We're not on the clips. We're watching the thing.
Melinda put me in major risk in Tijuana by giving my name to a man that was being looked for by the Mexican cartel. It was the most stupid, reckless thing that she's ever done to me.
You make assumptions just like the leftists.
Well, according to Paloma, Melinda, you harassed her by filming her getting served court papers at a speaking event in February. And then you posted the footage online to publicly humiliate her. True or false?
No, not to humiliate her, to prove that
To enhance her
to
image?
prove that it was done, to prove that it was served, because she's so manipulative. She would somehow convince the judge that she didn't get those papers. So
You thought it would enhance her image to post this online?
I didn't get close enough to get her. I mean,
They gotta
it was
be
way in the
honest.
distance. I was out at the door, and she
So
was.
barging into an event screaming in front of 47 Republican women, disrupting an event during prayer with the
Oh,
American
she did-
flag to your right, and saying, "You're a fraud, Paloma, you're a fraud, you're a fraud, you're going to jail." That's normal, right?
Well, here's the tape.
Such a fraud, Paloma. You're a fraud, Paloma. See you in court. And she is served.
That was very satisfying that day,
Yeah, she
By
gets
the way.
very satisfied by this type of thing.
because I tried to get her served for 2 months, and she hid in Mexico and refused to come
I
across
hid
our
in
border.
Mexico in my
Okay,
house.
hides.
what was your purpose in posting that online?
'Cause that's what we do.
Harassment.
That's
Well, I
not,
can see that.
That's what we
That's
do.
what, I mean, we post our videos online. That's what we
Well,
do.
you said you did it to prove to the judge that she had been served.
Amy, one of her
You don't have to
fans
post
called
it
them back.
online
Well,
to prove to the judge. You just show it to the judge.
Well, I had it locked. I unlocked it for the show. I had it locked.
Not
on
only that,
Facebook.
she created a big scene. Women in their 60s or 70s.
Oh, I'm
were
right there with you,
literally
Miss Red
on
Badger. She
afterward.
says, I'm going to drink a
after
gallon of
prayer,
holy
we
water
were
after
one of
watching
the
this
Republican
trash fire. Back to the
coming
podcast.
out and calling
she
us
says that
lowlifes.
you two have filed
We
four
gotta
restraining
consume it
orders
and-
on
and-
her,
and address
that
it. Look at all these
four of them
restraining
have been
orders.
thrown out by the court.
So much wasted
Not
money.
true. The first
So you have a restraining order in place right now. She is
on
under,
the 6th.
Then why are we here together? If she's under a restraining order,
No,
we shouldn't
hold
be
on.
here.
That's all.
No.
On the 6th,
They had to
me and
make an
Paloma went to
agreement.
court, and we did a mediation and
See?
came up on a contract agreement.
She had a temporary restraining order.
All those are temporary restraining orders, which she violated every single one of them. They were never dismissed. No. They were never dismissed. They said, the judge said the first two I couldn't get her served because she didn't come into the U.S. The third one, the judge said, you know what?
Because I'm
You
not an American citizen, by the
You
way.
have a huge slander and harassment case, but there's not enough evidence for physical threats. The fourth one is she apologized to me before court and gave me this big old acting scene.
Yeah.
That she's sorry. And the judge had me and her sit down. We were the last people in court. We sat down and filled out a piece of paper, an agreement that she wouldn't attack me and I wouldn't attack her.
You will sit here on national television and still make your claims that me, Paloma for Trump, or whatever you want to call me, threaten your life, threaten to cut your head off and put it on a pole cartel style. Melinda, I have never even been alone with you other than a week ago.
Okay.
First of all, I would never threaten anybody. Okay. First of all, cartels don't cut heads off and put them on poles.
How do you know what cartels do?
You're a big fan of Game of Thrones because I live in Mexico. You're a big fan of Game of Thrones, and you need to start, you've been abusing the legal system for the last 8 months, Melinda.
Oh, my God.
You don't have any restraining orders against me because a judge has not found them to be valid.
Okay, these were all dismissed.
Yes.
Either for lack of service or lack of evidence, one of the two.
Yes.
All 4 have been dismissed.
No, the last one we did wasn't dismissed. The last one
dismissed.
We did
Actually,
a
it
mediation.
is.
It is dismissed.
Have you two claimed that she's not an American citizen?
I have said that she is not American.
What the hell? What?
Yeah.
What?
We agreed to have them dismissed.
Have you
don't
two
any
claimed
evidence.
that she's not an American citizen?
I've never said that. I don't know what her citizenship is.
Well, according to her, both of you have falsely claimed that she is not an American citizen.
I have said that she is not
Oh, she's totally playing the
American.
victim.
I tried to have a
PK for
conversation with
truth.
you. I called you. And I said,
You
Amy,
yelled at
No,
me.
I have the conversation.
No, you don't.
I have the
You have it
conversation.
cut up.
No,
and,
I have
and
the conversation.
sliced the way
No.
that
She knows
you
how
want
to
it
No,
play
Amy, I
Mosquita
have
Muerta
it
for
in
sure.
me.
We had you
Paloma
at the
knows how to
beginning
play
of the show
Mosquita
on
Muerta.
tape
She
saying
knows
she's
how
not
to
an American
play
citizen.
like the dead
You are
flies.
not
She's like,
an American citizen. You don't live here. You live in Mexico.
She's not an American.
What the hell?
and Amy and Melinda have a very hard time controlling their temper.
Right.
You're not an American.
Okay, so
See,
You don't
just
love our
double down on the
country.
dumb.
You don't love our people.
so you sent out about
You live
7.
in Tijuana.
So
Okay, hold on. What is this right here?
This is my U.S. passport, just so you know. This is my U.S. passport.
So what? I don't.
Looks like she was dragging it behind her car.
American.
Old.
We're talking about citizenship. No, that doesn't even look like you.
Okay. Oh. Well, somebody call.
Who is that?
Somebody call Homeland Security, please, because apparently I'm here forging documents.
Ugh. That's scary.
What the hell are you talking about?
She is not. She does not represent Americans here in the United States of America. That is what I'm talking about.
That's not what you said.
Well, I was in the heat of the moment because she was making memes about autistic children and making fun of disabled children.
Ends justify the means
yeah, I was a
argument.
little upset at the time, and I was.
You guys are unbelievable.
The ends do not justify the means. Then nobody wins. Nobody has a clear.
If any of the three of you were cross-examiners,
reality
you would
here.
let every murder in America walk because you can't stay on point.
Exactly.
You interrupt. You don't know how to take yes for an answer.
Exactly. You don't know when you're
Let me
ahead.
get this right. You
don't
say
even know when
she's
you're
not
ahead.
American. So when I show you her passport, you say, well, her
Y'all
picture's
shoot
scary.
yourself in the feet.
And then you say, well, what I meant was she's not a good American.
I didn't say a good American. I said
Oh, my God.
an American that
And this is
represents
No, please.
the United States of America.
That would be not a good American.
Well,
And you decide that. So if you think I don't represent America properly, then
I'm
I'm
allowed
not
to
an
my
American.
opinion about her, yes, because of the way that she has treated us for 10, almost 10 months now, 8 to 10 months now. All of the things that she has said
So we
about
then
us.
should revoke her citizenship
Yeah, that would be great.
because she hurt your feelings.
No, not because she hurt my feelings. No, not because she hurt my feelings. You're giving her so much ammunition right now. I hope you
He is.
understand that.
Oh,
Did you
not
threaten
you.
him?
No, I'm just saying he's
my
giving
God.
you ammunition right now because this is what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen now.
You're the one that's
No, it's scary. She's scary.
Your
She's going to
is
single-handedly take down the
scary
deep state,
person.
too.
Well, these women are acting like teen bullies. They're bullying each other.
Yeah.
They're bullying each other. And I'm going to reveal some real truths that will hopefully force them to grow up when we come back.
If only that was possible. I don't know if it is. Oh my God.
When I grew up as a boy, all of our fantasies were
You know
about
what a
the
wasted
Wild, Wild
opportunity
West.
this is?
Now we're dealing with
This
the
is a
Wild,
wasted
Wild
opportunity
West.
because
And the gunslingers are keyboard bullies. With
Amy and
Facebook,
Melinda could have used
email,
this
chat
opportunity
rooms.
as
There
they
are so
claimed
many
they
of these
wanted
things
to
with so
expose
much power that
cyberbullying.
constitute
They could have
weapons
used
of
this
mass
opportunity to
destruction when it
expose
comes to
this
communication.
massive,
And the problem
dangerous
is the bullies are
fraud
anonymous
con
now.
woman,
Children that have been impacted by cyberbullying are 1.9 times
political
more likely to
sham
attempt suicide
artist,
than the general population. I get
attention
thousands of letters at the Dr. Phil show
seeker.
of kids
I
asking for
was trying to
help.
finish that sentence
It is a
gracefully.
serious crisis. 2% of kids say
And
they're bullied on the internet.
instead of doing that on a national level,
Have to give educators
that you could have taken this on a national level for people to see the real dangers of this woman.
break the pattern.
You ended up trying to attack all of the other women's victims because you didn't think they were victim enough for you. And now, only the thing that's going to be remembered about this is how silly all of you looked. But
Against cyberbullies all the way
they're
to
going to look
Congress,
all of you
and
up.
am still
Your
fighting
names
to
are
put
going to
an
be
end
household
to
names for
keyboard
sure.
bullies. Now, Amy, Melinda, and Paloma
people are going to look up Paloma
stuck
for
in a
Trump.
cyber war
For
so
sure they're going to
vicious,
look that up.
They believe their lives may be at stake.
Especially now that we know that she's
I take
become
cyberbullying
viral
very
for pushing
seriously.
a migrant.
And what you just saw was me testifying in support of reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary
What Dr.
Education
Phil
Act.
should know
And as part of
is
that
if he cares
reauthorization,
about
set
really
aside funds
exposing
to
bullies,
deal with cyberbullying,
you gotta follow
equip
up on what
teachers
these
and
people do.
administrators to deal with cyberbullying because
Because
up until now they've said this doesn't happen on
this
school
doesn't
grounds,
stop.
so we don't have any role in it.
And as long as bullies are allowed to bully,
disagree completely. They
as
have to
long
have
as
a
no
role
one
in it
stands up to
because
them,
they
and as
spend
long as no one
over
shuts them
half
down,
of a
they keep
child's
going.
waking hours
That is
with
something
them,
I
and they
do
have the
know.
ability to influence that.
That is something I do know, and that is why I do
This
not quit
cyberbullying
until I
creates
finish a
grave
topic.
Consequences. And if you don't believe me, take a look at this.
Michelle Carter is set to spend more than a year behind bars. Carter used text messages to encourage her teenage boyfriend to kill himself.
His life mattered. Conrad, we love you.
The entire nation has been gripped by the story of a Florida teen who took her
Bullies
life
don't
after
quit.
allegedly being bullied.
It started with the name calling. Brandon had used 357 Magnum. When I saw him, the first thought that went through my mind is he looks on the outside now like he has felt on the inside for so long.
He looks on the outside now the way he has felt on the inside for so long. You're adults. You're supposed to be role models. And this conduct
Paloma is not a
that
role
all
model to
three of
anybody.
you are engaged in is
She just wants to win at all costs.
It's terrible what you're doing. All three of you are guilty of it. You're letting her control you. You're letting them control you. You're letting them get inside your head. When you hold a grudge, it's like letting somebody live in your head rent-free. And that's what you're doing. You got a grudge, so she's just in there controlling you. They're just in there controlling you. If you're really passionate about your purpose, you never take your eye off that purpose, off that cause. If you think some of the arguments you've heard these three make up here are ridiculous, raise your hand. Take a look around, please. This is not becoming to any of the three of you. We'll be right back.
Yeah, the sad part is that these two women don't know how to effectively expose what was being done to them and to other parties. And they couldn't get out of their own way.
Bridget, you're a victim of cyberbullying, correct? What happened to you?
A couple of years ago, my friends made this social media account pretending to be me, and they were harassing me and a number of other people and making really dangerous threats.
And you can't get away from it when it's on the internet, right? If it's at school, you can go home.
Right.
But it's on the internet, it follows you home.
You're right,
Audrey,
Maloney.
stand up.
This woman, Paloma, will not change.
You've been on the other side of this
I don't
issue,
think
right?
that this did anything
Tell
for
me about
Melinda and
that.
Amy either.
Well, everybody
I don't think
know
it's going.
has been bullied and bullied
There
in middle
is a
school. Mainly
method
it was because
to
I'm pretty
healing.
young. We had Snapchat.
There is a way.
Helped spread a rumor about someone. I felt really bad about it. I DM'd her to apologize later on, but I did help spread a rumor about this girl.
Mm-hmm. And so, looking back, you realize that's nothing short of bullying.
Well, it is bullying. I felt really bad about it because it was a rumor about me as well. I had the same rumor going around. I think I kind of passed it on to someone else to kind of take it away from me.
Mm-hmm. You think you have ownership here?
Ownership in what
Gwen
I've done in return?
Mason
Yeah.
says.
Do you think you've contributed to this battle?
No.
This is just dumb. Paloma is the issue, and he acts like she's a victim, and the other two are just dumb.
So it's,
Why didn't he do his
it's a
homework?
constant being harassed online and
Let's listen
defending
for just a
yourself.
What would happen if you just?
Having to defend
What would happen if you just unplugged from this battle and just
I have.
refused to
It gets
react?
worse.
I did.
No.
She gets worse.
I have
when you ignore her.
unplugged from it.
Do you think you have ownership here?
Absolutely.
What kind of ownership? Make her say it. What is it?
What would happen if the three of you just took the
follow
other's
through.
name out of your vocabulary and just
Can't do it.
absolutely refuse to speak about, react, pontificate, weigh in, anything about the other ever again, period, paragraph, no posts, no comments, no
can't
reactions,
do it. None
no
of them can.
answers, nothing.
Can't be
It's
done.
done already.
Just simply refuse to ever
Never.
speak or
That's not
post
true.
about each other ever again.
I have no problem with it whatsoever.
And that's
Oh
what
my
we do in
God,
court.
so many
Because
lies.
you know, when somebody that's really toxic in your life stops talking about you and interacting with you, it's like the trash takes itself out.
It's true.
And you have an opportunity to role model here. Just stop doing it. And I'm going to
It didn't
monitor every site for all three of you and see whether you do or you don't.
And they did not.
I would
And
like
they
to
did
thank
not.
all of my guests today. For more information about today's show, log on to
And they did
drphil.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And
They did
I
not.
don't say bad things about people.
And they didn't.
Don't forget to subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks, my true crime podcast, Mystery and Murder.
Okay. So let me just talk about this for a minute. I want to go back to a comment made by Gwen. Let's go back to this comment by Gwen, okay? Because it was an important comment, and I want to read it out loud. This is just dumb. Paloma is the issue, and he acts like she's a victim, and the other two are just dumb. Why didn't he do his homework? Gwen, this is an hour show?
Our show.
An hour show. It is like asking, why is something that is going to be presented as appetizer not fill me up like a four course meal? Because it's an appetizer. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to be a yummy tiny morsel that you taste and go, I got a taste of that. It's never meant to be in depth. It was never meant to be a long deep dive. That is what my show does. that some people on this feed are complaining about that I keep doing, which is in-depth reporting and investigating. So which is it? You want it all chewed up, digested? You want it all distilled for you in a 30-minute show that gives you soup to nuts, all the facts and the satisfaction of learning all this information, digesting it and understanding it? You can't have it both ways. You either get the morsel, you either get the little tiny bite, or you do the homework. You have to do the homework, and the homework is work. That's the work part right there in the name. And the work means, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of watching videos, of putting together the material, doing the research, doing the interviews, getting police reports, doing all of the things that we have done here on A Mexican Crossing Lines. That is why we do all of that research. That is why we do all of that homework, to bring you the in-depth reporting that these places don't do. They don't do them. Of course, they're not going to find resolution. You think that a show that is produced to give you that kind of effect, where, you have a tiny morsel of a taste of something that, and you have a satisfied feeling at the end in a very short period of time, it's produced for that specific purpose, that they're going to go through months of research, months of videos, and thousands of pages of information that was sent to them by Melinda and Amy? Hell to the no. In a court case that I would take for a lawyer that is going to take years to resolve, where we are going to, take somebody to court for millions of dollars, they're paying us. Those people are paying us thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to meticulously go through all of that. That's not what Dr. Phil does. He's in the television broadcasting business. They're producing a show to make money for them, not to bleed money for them. They're not going to put thousands of man hours on researching the background of Paloma and or Melinda and Amy to find out whether or not these people are good people or bad people, if one of them is truly the victim and the other ones are mentally sound or not. They're not going to do that. That takes too much time and effort they don't have. And it doesn't serve the purposes of their show. This was never going to be more than what you saw. An opportunity to showcase a group of people that are in the extreme and cannot get along and cannot get out of their own way. Kind of like lost causes. Do they have any hope? Is there any hope for them? That's what you're watching. Mm-hmm. That's what goes on Dr. Phil, don't you think?
That's right. And, he said he's going to monitor all their channels and all their stuff. And if he did, he would see that immediately they were fighting with each other again. And Paloma's fighting with everybody she can fight with, and it just went on and on and on. He could have a whole nother show as a follow-up to the resolution that he was seeking in his show. We do have some more clips, that we can play, and we're gonna do that. Play some more clips. They were actually posted on the Dr. Phil website, and I'm sorry that we didn't get it started right. I had our stream set up to a channel in New York, and it said in their schedule it would be on at 4 o'clock their time, 3 o'clock our time. But all of a sudden the weather came on. So the first half hour of our show, we were like, I was watching weather in the background, wondering when is this going to come up, and I looked at their schedule. They have pretty much news until 6 o'clock at night. So. And then some, a listener, a watcher, a viewer actually posted that I could go to a YouTube channel. So we did get most of the show. However, there are some other clips that I would like to play for you that we can analyze. It might be a repeat of what we just saw. It might not. It might be some of the stuff we actually missed. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how to start that just for a second. And both Cindy and I will be in screen. Or Well, I'll start out and then we'll bring Cindy in. So hold on there.
And we have to take into account that, how much homework does a producer of a show like this do into the background of the individuals they're going to have on their show?
Yeah.
Do you really think that they spend months and months and months looking into who these people are, like I have in the case of Paloma? No, they don't. So they don't know the idiosyncrasies of these folks. They don't know how they behave. They don't know any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I have to blow my nose.
I can make you disappear and make it so people can't even hear you, and you can blow your nose. Okay.
I don't think they want to hear that.
No, they want to hear that. We've been traveling, and we came back in the cold weather here in North Dakota, from warm weather, and so we're just recuperating today. And then, of course, it's a Dr. Phil show. We wanted to do something live. So let's go ahead and can I play that clip and we'll have a look at that? Or okay, I'm going to bring you back on camera and play the clip.
You know that I keep my political views to myself for a variety of reasons. Now, while today's guests say they're political activists, their positions and relations to certain political parties have nothing to do with the focus of today's show. It is solely their behavior I'm focusing on. I want my stance to be very clear before we start the show today. Few events in American history have divided the nation like the building of the border wall.
There it is.
My guests today met at this very place 9 months ago protesting on the border of San Diego and Tijuana. They are 3 self-proclaimed social media reporters with an online following who claim to be covering border wall issues. Now, at first they were united. A common political goal held them together. But now they are at war among themselves. Take a look.
See?
We've been dealing with this for months and months and months. You see the right here? We dealt with videos, freaking posts. Don't tell me to stop.
You are not an American citizen. You don't live here. You live in Mexico.
I got a couple of psychos that have been literally doing everything within their power to bring me down.
You are sick and you need help.
All right, let's take a look at where this issue began.
We are by the San Ysidro port of entry. If you remember when we were invaded last year by the migrants, this was the specific place right here is where they crossed through the river canal. These buses are full. They're full, you can see.
Undocumented migrants.
I met Paloma the day that the caravan hit this border. Paloma was walking away from filming the border and I was walking in to film it. So we actually crossed paths.
This is downtown Tijuana and we're headed to the border. We had a lot of migrants come in recently. Whenever they do an event or they're rushing the border, I'll head down there and document what's going on. I'm a dual citizen because my mom married an American citizen after my biological dad passed away. A lot of the deported migrants, they live in the canal by the thousands and they end up living and dying in that canal. This is a border wall in Tijuana and Amy and Melinda are only about 100 yards away from us. We're all on the same side. We're not fighting over politics. We're fighting because it became sort of like a social media competition. I didn't expect to get attacked from people that are supposed to be on my side. On Melinda's side of the border, it's America, it's safe. On my side of the border, we can get killed for doing what we do.
What?
Well, Amy and Melinda reached out to me because they say Paloma, who claims to be a powerful political activist and goes by Paloma for Trump, is using her online platform to unleash a campaign of terror against them.
My friend Amy and I are being cyberbullied by a woman named Paloma. When I first met Paloma, we were filming the border like a freelance reporter.
I've got a message for you.
My view changed of her when I was watching her on her live videos. She was instigating the local Tijuana people to physically attack the migrants with rocks. I was like, I'm sorry, but I choose not to follow her anymore because I feel like she's an instigator. From that point on, I became a target of Paloma.
Paloma's a talker. Paloma has made up names for Melinda and I. Fraud Linda, Buzzball, fatty 1, fatty 2, calling my oldest daughter a pink hat wearing pot smoker.
She would compare my children with horrendous looking characters. Paloma got a mug shot of me from 1996 and posted, her story was that I stabbed my ex-husband and I went to prison for it. I didn't stab anybody.
Over the past 10 months, I have been putting together over 10,000 pieces of evidence against Paloma. Paloma has even gone as far as to post a picture of a friend of mine's autistic son, calling him a crack baby. It's disgusting. Paloma has created t-shirts with Melinda and my picture on them.
$2.99, because they really ain't worth more than that. The last straw was Paloma attacking my 8-year-old granddaughter. I have had to take out 4 restraining orders on Paloma.
I'm not here to make amends with Paloma. She needs to pay for the consequences of her actions. Paloma needs to be jailed.
Was this an effective way of getting her jailed?
No.
Is the act of just vomiting all of the things that you feel about someone on national television in this very limited format, in a way that doesn't present the evidence and the history and the modus operandi of a con of this magnitude to people in a way they can understand the most effective way?
No.
It's not effective at all.
Not at all.
I think that it's, but see, it was a missed opportunity on their part because they didn't know how to present it.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to a format that could never have presented it.
Right.
But it's still going to bring a hell of a lot of attention to the names.
Yes.
And people are going to search that. They're going to Google it. Mm-hmm. And guess what they're going to find? Our shows.
Yes.
They're going to find all the evidence about Paloma.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to learn, if people want to know, they're going to find it. Because we've done the work. We've done the legwork so that people can find it. She has to use filters because she does not look the same when someone is coming with their phone compared with their own live stream.
Exactly.
Oh my God, I know. I saw those Photoshop pictures of her from her Washington events. Mm-hmm. And she like literally cuts her torso in half in some places. And I'm like, oh my God.
She wants to look really thin, you know?
It would be great if he could hear and watch the con jobs she does with people about being for Trump in America and learn who she really works for. Yes, Diane. That would be amazing. And I'm hoping that this national attention will drive people to look more into who Paloma is. I think that people that watch this are going to be really curious. And even though Melinda and Amy did not do a good job in representing themselves, in advocating for themselves, I think that there's going to still be enough curiosity as to who these women are, especially because I think a lot of people are going to see Paloma in this show and go, wait a minute, isn't that the lady that pushed the migrant recently?
Exactly.
And they're going to go look for her and they're going to be like, wait a minute, isn't this the lady who was in the White House recently? With the president?
Yep, exactly.
And then they're going to go, okay, who is this lady? And they're going to find out more.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that that is exactly how it turns out. And I never watched Dr. Phil. Me neither. Only watched this. The show is an insult to my intelligence.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's not terribly deep.
No.
And that's why I said, when I heard they were going to do this, I thought, this is just... You know, people ask me why I would recommend that somebody not go with their story to specific news shows or specific venues like Dr. Phil's venue. And I have nothing against Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Or his show or whatever. All I'm saying is that some things don't do justice to the topic. And if you're just going to gloss over an issue and you're not going to go into the depth of what it means, that's doing a disservice to the topic. And Paloma and her fraudulent behavior, her extortion of people, the way that she interferes in people's marriages, the way that she tries to destroy people's lives, it is a very, very serious issue. One that could not be fleshed out appropriately on a show like Dr. Phil's. Come on.
Exactly, or any news show. You know, you're not in control. If you're on a news platform, they're going to produce it. They're going to control it. I've had many people in our community that have a news story locally, and we tell them, don't go to the local press. Do a show here. Have full control of what your message is. Cut your own stuff, edit your own stuff. It's not going to be someone else deciding your most significant piece is going to get cut out of the show, or we're going to make you look a certain way. You do it yourself on your own platform. Develop a platform. Find one that allow you to be a guest, and that's the sort of thing that you can be in full control of it. You know, we have 3 more clips.
Okay, can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
Paloma is also the type of person that immediately reacts, similar to Amy and Melinda, and a lot of folks. You know, when you take someone that has been traumatized repeatedly, and it doesn't take much, they will react, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
They're like a ticking time bomb. So I'm not trying to make more of it than what I'm saying, which is people that are reactionary are usually on the edge. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. And a lot of these folks that have been victimized by Paloma are already on the edge.
Yeah, that's
right?
for sure. That's for sure.
So if you're starting from that place, then you have people that are going to kind of be a little bit less stable in terms of how they react to situations.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something anyone and everyone can do. Live streaming from the border, handling the stress of a number of personalities, figuring out how to talk to all sorts of different types of people, analyze evidence, put it together, explain it to a public. It is kind of the wheelhouse of a paralegal.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of the wheelhouse of a Mexican crossing lines because we've done it and we've done it successfully.
Exactly.
Go back and check out what we did in the case of Kathleen Bennett.
Mm-hmm.
We spent over a year talking about the same case and picking apart every witness that came falsely to give reports to the police against her. We dismantled the prosecution's case in the state of North Dakota and all charges were dropped.
Exactly.
A woman that was framed was made innocent and reunited with her family. So that is exactly what we are able to do when we expose frauds. We take the time and we do it right. We take the time to make sure you understand. We take the time to make sure that we expose. One thing that nobody can say is, and in fact, Paloma will tell you, Paloma has told you, she didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I had never talked about her. She had never talked about me. We don't have no personal beef. I have no motive to go after her. She has no reason to come after me. I'm not doing it for a motive. I am exposing what has come into my purview, into my path, in my investigation of those who are helping move illegal migrants into our country for the exploitation of a loophole in our asylum laws. That is what I have been reporting on since last year.
Yeah.
And all of the people that are in that purview, in that path, including Paloma Zúñiga de Lint, are on my list. And I'm going to continue to report on them because I know more about them than most people do. And I feel it's my duty to make sure that I continue that work. So for the people that say, why am I still talking about it? Stop me. I dare you to try. Stop me from doing my work in the way that I feel that it should be done, which is effective. Effectively. Come and stop me.
Yeah.
Because I bet that you can't. And since you can't, then just put it down. Put a pin in it.
Yep.
Stop cheerleading me or trying to tell me how to do my work into silence, because I'm not going to go silent. Not about this, not about what's happening in Hawaii, not about what is going on at the southern border of Mexico. I have upcoming shows. I had 2 weeks off in Mexico. I'm back. I told you, I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And now that I'm back, I'm going to be in the studio working it, bringing you all of the information about all the things that I have been known to report on. And I'm not going to stop. I know what I know, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I have shows about Esta Pendeja for fraud and a whole bunch of these other posers, frauds, and Standing Rock phonies for years to come. I could do.
Yep.
For years to come, I could do. Mr. and Mrs. Forever said, Paloma was the harasser. She did it to Melinda and Amy. Then she's doing it to Oscar and Anthony. I believe she has many, many Facebook pages. Oh, you're right about that.
Yep.
She does. She does. And she harasses dozens of people. Dozens and dozens of people. Big Troll says, Panzona for Trump only grew popularity because she toured Ben Bergquam around Tijuana shelters. Mm-hmm. See, this is what she does, Big Troll. She gloms onto people with bigger followings because she is skillless and mediocre.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Lo único que sabe hacer es enseñar las chichas y las nalgas. That's all she knows how to do. She shows some T and some A, and she thinks that's how she's going to bring in the followers, and she fluffs her scraggly hair.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is you have to have intelligence. You have to be able to put a show together. You have to be able to keep people's interest. You have to be able to explain things. You can't just sit on a live stream going, guys. This is what we're fighting for. This is what we're hoping for. And I'm just going to keep getting better. And I'm not going to quit. And I'm not. And continue to have a following.
Mm-hmm.
It gets boring.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's been doing stuff that hasn't been focused on any messaging except fighting with people and making threats.
That's all she knows
to
how to
people.
do.
Yeah, it's like put some content, put some visuals together. Actually show the things that you say you're going to show. People say, I've got this thing and I'll show it to you later. Never see it. I've got this thing. Well, show it to me now. Why don't you set your space up and actually do a valid, nice. You can do a live stream. We did them in Mexico just with a phone. We figured out how to make it visually stimulating and actually good quality. It's not that hard.
She knows how to juggle phones, though.
Oh, yeah. Phone juggler.
She's got her phone. She's like, I got 7 phones. And I save everything. I got it. I got it all. I got recordings.
Mm-hmm.
I got this.
Yep.
Where are they, pendeja?
Yeah, exactly.
Where are they? How come you don't show them? How come I'm the one always showing your calzones to people? Mm-hmm. Why am I always pulling out your dirty laundry to people? How come you're not showing it? Get out in front of it.
Yep.
Show everyone what you got. Show them the skid marks and all so they can see.
Yep.
So that they can see before I show it to them. Because we're going to get to it, right?
Right.
But she doesn't want to do that. And the reason is because she's got nothing. It's all talk. It's all lies. Chichis for Trump. That's right. Cool Guy Commando Joe says, Chichis for Trump. She's got no nalgas.
Mm-hmm.
Pues a mí no me consta. But anyway, I shouldn't say that because I have some pictures. I have some pictures that she took of herself that shows her true figure.
Yeah.
They're not very pleasant.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, Mr. and Mrs. Forever said someone showed her video over a year ago on Dennis Michael Lynch, and she shared it to all his followers, and that's how she got viewers. Well, there's a lot of different ways she probably got viewers. Rosa Rodriguez says she claims she's in school in the USA, but she has no address in the USA, and she lives in Mexico. If she's in school, which I doubt, it will be in jail soon. I would like to think so, but a lot of these folks have supporters and funders that are connected to political parties, that are connected, that have political ties. They use losers like this in many cases because they're easier to cut ties with when they screw up really bad. You know, who's going to believe that they have anything to do with a political group?
Exactly.
And I've shown you videos of these people that look like they're so high on meth that they're literally have their eyes rolling into the back of their heads. And yet they're drone pilots working for, I'm not making any of this up. It's true. So
That's right.
when you see that they're using people like this that look like they're high on coke or something, and you're thinking, what is the purpose of using somebody that's so damaged to be in the forefront of leading any kind of movement?
Yeah.
It's that you can get rid of them really easily.
They're expendable.
Yeah.
They're expendable.
They're totally expendable, and nobody will believe them the moment that you just pull the spotlight off of them.
Yep.
They burn their identity.
And they
It's
go away.
Boom. They're gone.
Gone.
So that's what started, I was like, why would they use Dean Dedman? Why would they use this, pedophile, Frank Archambault? Why would they use Red Wolf Pope, a serial rapist? Why would they use Mike Fasick, a pimp? Why would they use Ed Higgins, a sexual harasser and alcoholic? Why would they use Chelsea Lyons Kent, a rapist, or Jordan Sheridan, a rapist? Why would they put those people? And then I'm like, oh, because they can just get rid of them. And nobody cares. And people actually already are kind of like gagging in their throat every time they see them. And they're like, I'm ready to vomit this out. I don't want to see it anymore. And that's really why. Because by the time they decide they need to cut ties with these people, it's an easy thing to do. They have no value. They never did.
Exactly.
So let's watch this next clip and talk about what the show means.
Multiple social media sites defaming and harassing us. It's detrimental to my life and our lives to have these negative things going on. It's permanent.
Paloma's gonna try to manipulate Dr. Phil, but I have respect for Dr. Phil, and if anybody can see through her, it's gonna be him.
Well, again, I keep my political views to myself for a variety of reasons, and while today's guests are political activists, their beliefs, what it is they advocate for, really has nothing to do with today's topic. My focus today is on their behavior. Now, Amy and Melinda say a social media influencer and political activist who goes by Paloma for Trump is hell-bent on ruining their lives. Well, it turns out Paloma's not a huge fan of theirs either. Surprise.
I am not the bully, they are the bullies. Amy and Melinda are trying to sabotage my future in my political career.
63 million voted for him and he's your president.
They're asking me if I'm really saying this right now. I describe myself as a political activist and an influencer. Amy has gone online calling me a pedophile, a fraud.
Paloma's a fraud. Don't give her a dime. She's a fraud. She doesn't even live here yet. She's profiting off of the American people. They literally stalk me 24 hours a day. They investigate where I live. They have my license plate number.
In a period of about 4 months, they put out about 300 negative posts about me.
They make cartoons of me. They will put horns on me.
Melinda told the court that I threatened to cut her head off and that my family was a part of the cartel. It's just absolute fiction. They have showed up at events to serve me with restraining orders.
Dr. Phil can make them realize that they're the ones that are bullying me. I'm not bullying them. I only respond to what they have done to me.
Okay, Paloma, you've been listening to everything we've been talking about, right?
I have.
And they have made allegations against you and things that you've done to attack them.
Influencer.
Is there anything you want to say about any of that?
You will never see me
Influencer.
attacking someone. I will never attack somebody first.
Yes,
I've been
you do.
I've been
You
attacked
attack
by
people.
these two women since November.
You attack people, you threaten people, you harass people.
And it's been it's been so overwhelming that
Oh my God.
I mean they've taken me to court. We've been to a courthouse at least 5 times. Okay, we've literally gotten thrown out of the courthouse where the judge is like, "Get out of my courtroom."
When did
I mean,
that
making one of the times your orders
Pathological liar is what you are.
Well, the orders were
Paloma for
the orders
Trump.
were dismissed. So
Paloma for Trump is in the house, everyone.
You told me in person that you threatened my life. That's why it was dismissed.
Melinda, I never.
Oh, the tales I could tell, but lol, I am too tired.
Nobody threw us out of a court.
Nobody. I have no.
Blackmail
I have
women
no
into being
criminal
my
background,
bestie, right?
Melinda.
Oh,
I've
not
never-
in the United
Torres.
States, but you do in Mexico.
No, I don't.
Oh my God.
No,
Is Krista on here?
Okay, what? Okay, so tell me what Melinda, tell me what I've done in Mexico.
You tell us.
No,
Big
well, you're the
troll.
one that's saying
Pansona
that
for
I have
Trump
a
created
criminal
problems among
background.
legs and supporters since she did not earn the right to attend the White House event.
Really?
No.
Oh,
so-
I know. I heard there's
No, so I've not. So
there is
no, I've never
a
been arrested
big
in Mexico.
backlash
Sometimes
on
when
that whole
people
thing
do
about the
political
visit.
activism in Mexico, they
Put you in jail?
No, without your name.
Mason,
So
I'm
without
such a
your name,
victim. How dare they
that's not
call me
being
out for my
arrested. That's not
BS?
committing a crime, Melinda. And
True.
this is what you
don't remember the
She loves to play the
videos
victim.
that you
I'm,
made?
I'm in the middle of. I'm addressing Melinda. I'm
okay,
addressing
go ahead,
Melinda.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So for the last 8 months, Melinda, you and Amy and your family.
Amy's Amy, I'm me.
Okay,
so don't
so
put
for
us
the
as,
last-
as
We're
one.
not one person.
We're not one
For
person.
the
We're two
last
different
8
people.
months,
Well, stop
Melinda.
finishing each other's
you-
sentences.
For the last 8 months, you have harassed me,
Okay, so
my
you're not
friends,
gonna let
my
me speak
family,
I did not
and
sleep with
children.
David
You're not-
Basile to
eight-year-old
attend the White
granddaughter.
You're
House.
not going to let me speak.
Okay, Paloma, if you
Making
say
fun of
so.
the way a child looks.
Okay. She claims she wants to be a lawyer. That's a joke. She wanted to go to school for marketing or for commercial business, blah, 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 blah. She's done nothing. She's like zero skills, zero successes in her life. The only thing that she's been successful at is becoming infamous for pushing a migrant and bragging about making him pee his pants. That's what she's famous for.
Exactly.
She's famous for being a joke. She's famous for being a caricature of what Mexicans in Mexico think is the most racist idiot sellout that you could be.
Yeah, she basically was being used by after Trump, when he announced his candidacy and said Mexicans are bad and all this stuff, to have a group form that's Latinos for Trump, Mexicans for Trump, Paloma for Trump. She was being used as a countermeasure for these statements that Trump made, and they were trying to do the spin. She was part of the spin. She wasn't getting recognition for what she's really doing. She was being used as a pawn, and she took advantage of it and has been riding it. She's trying to ride the wave back up now, and she's doing a horrible job. I mean, the show with Dr. Phil is showing her, her true, vindictive self, and that's the way she's been acting since I've ever watched her. I started watching her a long time ago, and I thought, that lady that just yells at the border all the time, it's just like, it's like, I don't want to spend my time even watching her videos. And we started looking how she was connected to the caravan and how she was actually also taking advantage of getting people through. I mean, the Maria Mesa case and all these other things, she needed to be looked at. As soon as we started looking at her and exposing her stuff, then she starts attacking us, and she spends all her time attacking us and trying to discredit us, never really addressing any of the issues and the evidence that we put forward. Evidence, screenshots, police reports, testimony from victims, her own voice. It's just like, wow.
No Eyes says she's not smart enough to pass the board exams, let alone the classes. Exactly,
Yeah.
Rita. Why are they showing proof? I told you they don't do deep dives. They don't do deep investigations on these types of shows, and that's why. And that's why you only get this back and forth bullying, high school nonsense. That's what they have time for. They don't have time for a very deep investigation. They don't have time. Why do you think I started doing super chats? So we could talk to each other, dialogue, and have these conversations and talk about the work that we do. But the kind of work that we do, the time and the effort that we put into it is very lengthy.
Yeah.
We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of hours of time that we spend, that we are researching and doing this work so that we can, so you don't have to.
Exactly.
I am a Mexican crossing lines, so you don't have to be. And then when you come to my show, you can see all this evidence for yourself and look at it and know that I have vetted it. When I show you screen captures that were sent to me, I verified that these came from Paloma's phone. I verified that they were sent to other people so that I know that when I'm showing you evidence, it's real. Some of the evidence I take information, I redact information from. And some evidence I don't show you, but I tell you about it because I can't show it to you. But I tell you I have it, I've seen it. So I can talk about it because it is in my possession. And were I to have to prove that this is real, I can. You see what I'm saying?
Oh,
you
yeah.
Follow?
Yep, I follow.
And this is what we have to do behind the scenes in order to bring you the information that can conclusively give you a full picture and an understanding of what and who you are dealing with. This is very complicated. Paloma for Trump is not just a fraud. Paloma for Trump is not just an extortionist. Paloma for fraud isn't just a fraudulent voter. Paloma for fraud is not just a woman working with human traffickers. Paloma for fraud is not just a woman that is friendly with weapons runners and narco traffickers. Paloma for fraud isn't just able to walk into the shelter for border angels with great facility. Paloma for fraud doesn't just have a lot of contacts in the media that elevate her voice as a thought leader for Latinos, when in fact she doesn't even have residency in this country and or have any kind of allegiance to any political party in this country. Paloma for fraud is not just someone that is boosting the position and unifying the base of Mexican people in Mexico for AMLO's Morena Socialist Party that is totally and completely in line with the Democratic Socialists of America, who are feeding this mass migration and this illegal loophole into our asylum process in the United States. So Paloma for fraud is a much more complicated animal than any one of you understands or wants to believe. And in the political arenas that she has been moving, both in Mexico and in the United States, the way that she has been used, the way she is being used, and what that is affecting in both countries is something that you have not been paying close enough attention to, but it makes all of the difference. It is the most important part of the story. It's not even who she's mad at or who she's fighting with. This is just a byproduct of her being a POS person, an expendable, willing to do anything, prostitute yourself to the highest bidder type of person that is typical of the kinds of assets, quote unquote, that these organizations, that these organizers, that these political parties tend to use. Nutballs with nothing to lose.
That's right.
Am I wrong?
No.
In the profiles that we have shown on our show of the people that are involved in this stuff,
No,
they're meth heads.
Yep.
They're prostitutes. They're child abusers. They're pedos. They're rapists.
Exactly.
They're drug runners. They're felons.
True.
Am I lying?
You are not lying. You know, that there's no accreditation at these people, that these so-called influencers. And like you said earlier, it's like many of them just disappear. They've served their purpose. They're easily gotten rid of. Some of them pop up again. A lot of them pop back up when it started coming to the migrants crossing the border. Another cash cow. They're popping up with Mauna Kea in Hawaii. They're popping up wherever in a hurricane, disaster relief. They pop back up. They go down. They come back up because they are the influencers that are the fraudsters that keep the focus away from the real issues and help people just enrich themselves on the stuff that's going on.
And Dr. Phil missed the opportunity on that. Dr. Phil.
Yeah.
Dr. Phil, you could have had the news story. You could have had your show be the show where you exposed more about this fraud Paloma, that it has a massive role in disinformation, in fraud, extortion. You know, the thing that Paloma for fraud is good at is pa desmadrar, to F shit up. That's what she's good at. She shows up to F shit up. If she's there, it's going to get messed up. They should call her stomach hands because everything that she touches turns into shit. Anything she gets close to, she can destroy. She has the magic touch. She gets close to a group or organization, it's going to turn into a poop show. If she goes and she's going to work at a rally, it's going to get messed up. If she gets close to somebody that's doing good reporting or that's exposing something, she's going to shut it down. They're going to have a nervous breakdown. That's what she does best. She is an agent of chaos. That's why they throw her in all these places to mess things up. And as long as she is a good battering ram, they're going to keep using her.
Yep.
The only thing that shuts this woman down is taking her apart as we have been. Layer after layer after layer. Pulling back the layers of the lie, the deceit, what she does, how she does it, understanding how she ticks, what she is about, so that you can even predict what she will do next and how she will go about it. One day at a time.
Yep.
And connected to the whole. If you take her out of context and you don't know what she is out in the context of the whole network, you're never going to understand. You're never going to really understand. And you're going to be focused on what she did to Amy or what she did to Melinda or what she did at the border or and if you're stuck on that one thing, if you're stuck on you, if you're stuck on what she did to you, if you're stuck on what she did to that person or her friend did to you, we're never going to get to the bottom of it.
Yep.
People need to be able to put that aside, okay, to get out of their own way, to analyze exactly what she is and how she causes harm. We can establish that she is an agent of chaos that causes harm. We know that, okay?
Yep.
Okay, let's listen to the last clip. Is this the last one?
There's two more left. This one and another one.
Thanks for your support, guys. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Major risk in Tijuana. By giving my name to a man that was being looked for by the Mexican cartel. It was the most stupid, reckless thing that she's ever done to me.
What?
I don't know what they're talking about.
You make assumptions just like the leftists.
Well, according to Paloma, Melinda, you harassed her by filming her getting served court papers at a speaking event in February. And then you posted the footage online to publicly humiliate her. True or false?
I used to follow all of these men.
Not to humiliate her,
to
prove that it was,
to
prove that it was done, to prove that it was served, because she's so manipulative. She would somehow convince the judge that she didn't get those papers. So
you thought it would enhance her image to post this online?
I didn't get close enough to get her. I mean, it was way in the distance. I was out at the door and she was...
So barging into an event, screaming in front of 47 Republican women, disrupting an event during prayer with the American flag to your right and saying, "You're a fraud, Paloma, you're a fraud, you're a fraud, you're going to jail." That's normal, right?
Well, here's the tape.
Such a fraud, Paloma. You're a fraud, Paloma. See you in court. And she is served.
That was very satisfying that day.
Yeah, she gets very satisfied by this type of thing.
Because I tried to get her served for 2 months and she hid in Mexico and refused to come across
I
our
hid in
border.
Mexico in my house.
And what was your purpose in posting that online?
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
I can see that.
No, that's what I mean.
That's what we do.
Yep.
We post our videos online. That's what we
But
do.
you said you did it to prove to the judge that she had been served.
Yes.
You don't have to post it online to prove to the judge. You just show it to the judge.
Well, I had it locked. I unlocked it for the show. I had it locked.
Not only that, she created a big scene. Women in their 60s or 70s
Respectable
were literally
coming on afterwards.
No,
after
we
you were
praying.
served
We
with
were-
one
no,
of the
we were
Republican
praying.
women coming
We were
out and
praying.
calling
She
us
says
lowlifes.
that you two have filed 4 restraining orders on her, and that all 4 of them have been thrown out by the court.
Not true. Not true. The first.
So you have a restraining order
were
in
praying
place
for
right
Jovi.
now.
On 6th.
Then why are we here together? If she's under a restraining order,
No,
we shouldn't
hold
be
on.
here.
As always.
On the
Couldn't get my
6th,
comment
me and
in,
Paloma
get
went to
that
court,
voice in.
and we did a mediation.
So
and
what
we
is
agreed
it
upon
when Paloma
contract
whips out her
agreement.
camera
She
harassment?
was-
Mr. Phil is a
all
joke.
those are temporary restraining
Yes,
orders, which
I
she
mean,
violated every single one of them.
Paloma is
They
the
were never
biggest drama
dismissed.
queen on earth.
Oh, yeah.
They were
So
never
she
dismissed.
makes
They said- the
scenes
judge said
everywhere.
The first 2, I couldn't get her served because she didn't come into the U.S. The third one, the judge said, you know what? Because I'm not an American
And she does
citizen.
hide
You
from the
have a
law.
huge
Oh, yeah.
slander and,
She has
harassment
warrants out for
case
her
that have
arrest,
nothing
and
to
she
do
hides.
to
Yeah.
her, physical threats.
You're not
The
mentioning
fourth
that at
one
all.
And
is
Paloma
what
says she
she
doesn't fear the
apologized
cartels.
to
How many
before
times has she
court
said
and
it? A
then
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you
acting
wonder.
scene. She's sorry. The judge had me and her sit down. We were the last people in court.
Doesn't
Sit
fear
down
people like
and
Ivan
filled out a
Riebling,
piece of
whose
paper,
name
an
she can't even
agreement.
say.
She wouldn't
Exactly.
attack me, and I
Does
wouldn't
not how to
attack
say
her.
it.
You
But
will
she can
sit
stand
here
in
on
line like a
national
fangirl and wait for his
television
picture.
Uh-huh.
and still make your claims that me, Paloma for Trump, or whatever you want to call me,
Whatever you wanna
threaten
call
your
me, but
life,
call me Paloma for
threaten to
Trump.
Cut your head off.
How about
and
Pendeja
put
for
it on
fraud?
A pole, cartel style. Melinda, I have never even been alone with you other than a week ago.
Okay.
I would first of all, I would never threaten anybody.
That's pretty
First of all,
good.
cartels don't cut heads off and put them
Last
on
Scout Radio
poles.
has a question for you, Duke.
Oh, yeah?
Duke, why did she even go on Dr. Phil? I think
You're a big
that
fan
she
of
had
Game
the
of
okay
Thrones.
from
You
her.
need to
Did you
start,
think? You think she had okay from her handlers?
Well, the handlers can't handle her. You know, it's the whole thing. She just goes beyond being handled. You know, she's been coached. Whoops.
Somebody has to coach her.
Yeah, definitely. You know, she's being coached, and whether she pays attention to that
Oh,
coaching,
they
is
don't.
another question. You know?
Oh, they don't. I mean, that's why I told you. They use these people that are like just nuts. Like, you know, like completely methed out people, like we've seen so many times, or alcoholics that are just like completely out of control. And, you know, to the point where they end up going to jail because they can't control their criming, and they're like serial raping people, or, you know, doing really horrible things, and they finally just like go to jail. But you wonder, like, wow, how did they get to the point where they were in this role of leadership in anything?
Yeah.
You know, how do you have a Louis Monsivice who's the stunt double in movies, who does stunts for Hollywood and has a felony record for trafficking humans,
Yep.
according to himself, and put that person in front of a camera in a leadership role for a movement to help migrants? Like,
Yeah.
why would you do that?
Yeah. It's not a real legitimate leadership position. These people are put to use, used and spit out. You know, and that's why, you know, this Paloma, we're focusing on her now because it's like, you know, she is playing a crucial role. I personally think she's really spiraling downwards. This Dr. Phil show she's been waiting for that, to use that for spin on, you know, what she's been saying is going to be used to be against the president. I don't see anything about the president in this whole show at all, except her name, Paloma for Trump. You know, and it's like, I don't see any of that. I see these people fighting with each other that can't help themselves. They can't take their own advice. They can't see the larger picture. They can't swim out of it and actually try to achieve what they want to achieve. They just got banter back and forth to make the other person and react to that person back and back and back and back and back.
That's right. And Diane La Rosa says Mary Tando would have been able to handle it. This I believe. I agree, Diane. Like a boss.
Yep.
She would have handled it like a boss. And I also wish that we had the representatives, that's the people that speak to the heart of what I know the majority of people that have encountered this Paloma for fraud
Exactly.
understand about her. And that will bring us closer together. We have to examine in the ways in which we all have a communal understanding, the ways in which we all connect with the topic. That is what I focus on. When you present a case to a jury or a judge, and you're trying to show them the evidence of what you have that proves your case, what you do is that you present them with things that people of a reasonable mind and understanding would or should have known. These are standards of the law, in fact. Would a person of this reasonable understanding do this, that, or the other thing, right?
Yep.
And so it's very difficult when you have similar people in that they are also kind of chaos agents themselves that don't know how to get out of their own way, that don't seem to be able to stop themselves from reacting in exactly the way their opponents want them to react, such that they do shoot themselves in the foot and also muck up the issue to the point where nobody can even be heard. It's just a cacophony of sound and anger. That it makes it really not an effective way of presenting information and not an effective way of taking down an incredibly dangerous person like Pendeja for Fraud.
Exactly.
And she is. I don't know if he's really a doctor, Hoku 808. Paloma says she's suing Dr. Phil for damaging her political career. Yeah. Jive talker. That, no doubt, I'm sure. But that's a case that's already dead in the water because she'd have to prove that she had a political career to begin with. And she can't. I want this bitch to prove she ever even had a job that paid her money that came from any legal source. I would like to see it because, I mean, unless we're going all the way back to that factory job that she had way back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't think she's done a decent and honest day's hard work ever. No, she doesn't look like she does that. Where Latino legal Latino heat at? Would love to hear his thoughts on Pigeon for Drumpf. Me too.
Yep.
Nancy, you're so right. I have watched most of P's lives in Mexico, and she is the one that attacks people. Yes, she does. She does. Patty, Paloma for Trump here in the comments spells her name wrong. Too funny.
Yeah.
Duchess says, I can't believe, Duchess Rebecca, I can't believe that you grown up people are watching a woman make stuff up about another white-ear. What's a white-ear?
I don't know what that means.
Young terrier? No. Who made Cindy God? And why would you follow someone that is a stalker? I'm not God. I've never claimed to be God, but I do bring receipts. I do show my work, which is more than I can say for Paloma or many of these other people that claim to have all this information. They don't know how to put it together. They don't know how to put it out there. They don't know how to be convincing to the public. And that is why people follow my work.
Exactly.
Also, I get results. I get results. And that is something that is very hard. As you saw, what did Dr. Phil accomplish? Do you see Dr. Phil accomplish anything?
No.
Now, I get results. When I put information out there, it makes positive, effective change that empowers people. Empowers people with knowledge, empowers people to prevent future fraud and crime, and it empowers people to have dignity for themselves. To have dignity for themselves. When victims have come forward on my show, they feel empowered because they expose the truth in a way that empowers them and silences and stops their bully. You may not have noticed this, but Paloma is probably dizzy because she has so many targets she has to hit at once.
That's right. Yeah, she's like, you know how you divert a dog's attention with one of those little lights, laser lights. That's what she reminds me of because it's like, I'm gonna pick this guy here. Anyone have screenshots of him talking about me? Oh wait, there's someone over there too. Oh, you. I'm gonna spend my time today on you and talk about how you're gonna be sued by me. You're gonna be sued. You're gonna be sued. You're gonna be reported. You're gonna end up in jail. And then she's just like, going all over the place. Especially lately, she's just jumping from one person to the next. And now it's Dr. Phil.
And the fact is that she can claim that, this doesn't really have anything to do with her being a super horrible human being that everyone hates because she is so toxic. No. She's the victim of 50 million people.
Yeah.
All of whom are doing witchcraft on her because they're psychos. All of whom are taking out restraining orders out on her because they're racist, because they're jealous, because they want a married man, or they want her, or because she is so famous. They're so jealous of her because she's so beautiful. They want her body. And you start to realize the more she talks, the more she targets, the more she cannot control herself because she can't, that she's showing you all of her crazy.
Exactly.
She's showing you all of her ugly. She is proving my point every time she can't control herself. She wipes her pages, but as soon as I tell her, you can't control yourself, pendeja, for fraud, she's like, you're right, I can't, tamales. And then she types it out, she puts it out there, she lets you know.
That's what she does.
She has absolutely no self-control. She wants people to know that she's racist against her own people, that she is a poop stain on the politic of both countries, and that she will continue to put her foot in her mouth because as the agent of chaos she is, all she is required to do is make whoever she is being representing, supposedly representing, look bad. If it's Trump, she's making him look horrible.
Yeah.
Is it Mexicans or Latinos or conservatives? Making them look horrible, doing a good job, doing exactly what the Democratic Socialists pay you to do.
Exactly.
Making Mexicans look bad, making Trump look bad. Brava. Fantastical job you've got there. And you do it better than anyone.
Yep.
No one could make us look more ridiculous than you. Absolutely. So for all of her bravado telling you how much she loves Trump, if she were even an ounce of sincere with herself, seeing how every single person I interviewed in Mexico sees her and sees the president by comparison because she is his follower, she would get the hell away from his campaign and Latinos for Trump for the sake of the president, for the sake of Latino conservatives. But she won't because she's too egotistical and stupid, or as I call her, pendeja. And se hace pendeja because she knows exactly what she's doing. She knows the damage that it caused, and she's here for that.
Yep.
That's what she is here for. Do I have one more clip?
Yeah. And
Take me through it. Take me through it.
And just a reminder, these clips came from Dr. Phil's webpage. drphil.com has these 4 clips at the bottom of the page from today's show. They're unedited. They've been edited by Dr. Phil. He put them out there. I just wanted to make sure that people could see them in our show today. So here is the last one.
Have YouTube claimed that she's not an American citizen?
I've never said that. I don't know what her citizenship is.
Well, according to her, both of
what a
you
waste
have
of
falsely
this time.
claimed that she is not an American citizen.
You should have talked about how she committed voter
said
fraud.
that she is
Yeah,
not
exactly.
American.
I tried to have a conversation with you. I called you.
You
I said,
People are
Amy,
so ineffective at
No,
presenting
I have
and
the
advocating for
conversation.
themselves.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
you
I have the
don't. You have
advocating
shut
for the other
up.
side in
No,
some
I
cases.
have the
Sliced
conversation.
the way that
No.
you want it to
No,
sound.
Amy,
You
I have
played it
no,
in the...
Amy.
We had you
I
at
have
the
the
beginning of the
conversation.
show on tape saying she's not an American citizen.
You are not an American citizen. You don't live here. You live in Mexico.
She's not an American.
Oh.
What the hell? What?
Yeah,
Right. You're not an American.
okay, so
You don't love our country.
so
You don't love our people.
so you sent out about
You live
7.
in Tijuana.
So
Okay, hold
you
on. What is this right here?
This is my U.S. passport, just so you know. This is my U.S. passport.
So what? I don't care.
Oh, so what?
I'm surprised they show it, with the numbers and everything on it. I'm like, my God,
Oh, it looks like they blurred it out.
That
Oh,
doesn't
is it?
even look like
Yeah, the numbers blurred out. But
Well, somebody call.
Who is that?
Somebody call Homeland Security, please, because apparently I'm here forging documents.
I'm sure you do a lot.
Scary.
What the
You know,
hell
and
are
what's
you
sad is I try to talk to Melinda and Amy about the ways in which they were damaging the case against Paloma and for other victims, and they were not able to get out of their own way
Yeah.
Here in the United States of
in order
America.
to,
That is what I'm talking about.
allow
what you
investigations
said.
and processes to move forward.
Well,
It just
I was in the heat of the
very-
moment because she was making
Heat in the
memes
moment.
Yeah,
about
and her and
She
influencers.
finished the sentence for me.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
just very heat in the moment
So, yeah, I was
Reactionary.
a little
and
upset
willing
with
to
her.
do and say whatever, including shooting themselves in the foot. to get there.
Yeah.
To just get out their emotions. It's very unproductive, unhealthy.
Yeah.
Doesn't do no good.
If any of the three of you were cross-examined,
And sadly, I don't think Dr. Phil is duped. I don't think you can't dupe someone that didn't follow.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
first place. It wasn't like he was paying attention to Paloma for fraud. But you know what, folks? Now a lot of people will be.
Exactly.
Not an American. So when I show
They're going to be
you her
fascinated
passport,
to find out
you say,
who this
well,
Paloma for Trump
her
is.
picture's scary.
Yeah.
And then you say,
Who's this
well,
crazy
when I met her,
lady?
She's not a good American.
I didn't say a good American. I said
Oh my God.
an American that
And this is
represents
No, please.
the United States of America.
That would be not a good American.
Well,
And you decide that. So if you think I don't represent America properly, then I'm
allowed
not
to
an
Now,
American.
now notice,
because of the way
notice that Paloma can't control herself either.
Yeah.
But she takes direction better from Dr. Phil than they do.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he's like, no, please. He tells Paloma to shut up, and she
Yeah, that would be
shuts
great.
up.
Because she hurt your feelings.
But Amy
no, not
can't.
because she
She's
hurt
just
my
like,
feelings. No.
no, that's not what I
Not
said.
because she hurt my feelings. You're giving her so much ammunition right now. I
No,
hope
you
understand
are.
that.
Yeah.
Did you just threaten him?
No, I'm
Oh.
just saying he's
my
giving
God.
you ammunition right now because this is what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen now.
Yeah. I know it's
You
going
know
to
how
happen
you know how you put your foot in your mouth
Yeah.
and you realize that you did that, but you want to blame someone else for it. He's not giving ammunition. You are giving that ammunition because you
Yep.
cannot
Control yourself.
yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You keep making this point for them.
Yep, exactly.
You keep making their point for them. And it is this, I get that you guys there are a lot of people out there. Their anger is overflowing. Their rage has been pent up and it has nowhere to go. It is just sitting there like a cannonball ready to be shot. But if you have an aimless cannonball just being shot out there, all you're going to do is destroy things.
It's going to land on something.
It's not going to hit its mark.
Nope.
It's not going to destroy what you want. It is not going to be a productive anything. That's what I'm trying to tell people, and that's what I've been trying to tell people. We're going to be productive with what we bring forward, and we're going to continue to bring more forward.
Yep.
Now, you may recall that I did some man on the street interviews while I was in Mexico about pendeja for fraud, which apparently incensed her. And there was an immediate backlash to one of the last people that I interviewed, an Uber driver named Marco, who was meritlessly accused of having to do with some kind of crime syndicate and accused his brother, who's a very decorated and beloved police chief in Mexico City, of all sorts of horrendous crimes and
Accusations.
Allegations,
yeah.
Defamatory allegations, which she made on a videotape, unfortunately. Which I think is immensely stupid because anybody can look up the name of that police officer and know that the person that I interviewed is not his brother. He is himself.
Yep.
That this police officer that has over 20 years of experience is still working to this very day and is, but most recently, been credited with stopping a crime gang that was targeting houses in that neighborhood, in that very nice neighborhood where he works. And that, publishing from her platforms these kinds of accusations against people that are validly working in the public eye in Mexico City, like this police chief was probably a really stupid idea.
Mm-hmm.
Or attributing and conflating the accusations, the invalid and defamatory accusations made by an anonymous, likely fake profile account. Saying that he killed his own father and that he committed crimes, and including trafficking, is also extremely stupid when you have absolutely no evidence of any of the things that you have said. I think that can't help themselves but react like morons, like Paloma.
Mm-hmm.
That reactionary thing, it's going to bite you in the butt. Maybe in Mexico now. Because I don't think that police chief is going to appreciate realizing that you've put his very good name and his good standing in jeopardy by republishing and discussing with what this fake account posted, this anonymous fake account posted with no basis, no evidence, and no information.
Yeah.
A lot of people are even questioning if that information came from pendeja for fraud.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, but we do know that she was stupid enough to make a video republishing these defamatory statements. Do these people know how to put their foot in their mouth?
Yeah, I'm surprised they can still speak with their both feet in their mouths, you know.
It seems like it. And as if that were not bad enough, today on the eve of this poop show coming to light on Dr. Phil, Jean Nadine Faraón, perro que ladra no muerde. And for someone that's willing to sell their wife to the highest bidder and let her sleep with whoever, who dresses like a homeless person because your wife puts you last, puts you less than last, cero a la izquierda last. To me, it seems like your standards aren't very high. I don't think you have the huevos to go and do or attack anybody in my family. And I pray for God to protect you from what would be coming to you if you go near anybody in Mexico, including any of the people that I interviewed, because they have their own history, their own life, their own support system, and their own backup. But, you know, lo pendejo se paga aparte, Jean Nadine Faraón. So do your best.
Mm-hmm.
See where it takes you. I predict you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
Exactly.
You can't even buy calzones for your own vieja. Somebody else got to buy her calzones for her. So I ain't that worried. But I will tell you this. Bullies are going to bully until someone stands up to them and tells them when it's time to stop. We're back home. I'm back in the saddle again. I'm back. So we're going to get to work, and we're going to be bringing it for you so that you can see we have a lot more shows in store and a lot more information on this panzona for fraud. We'll be bringing it here on a Mexican Crossing Lines. Thanks for watching.
Yep,
with all of us
thank you
tonight.
All.
We broke it down. We brought you the true, right?
Yep.
And we're going to keep on doing it. Thank you so much. Buenas noches. We'll be seeing you very, very soon with more shows on Facebook, on Mexican Crossing Lines. Gracias for watching our super chat. Thank you for your support and love.
Yep, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your donations. We really
Buenas
appreciate it.
noches, everybody. Thank you.
Night. Nos vemos. Ciao.